Welcome back. Now, South Australia produces some pretty remarkable food, but we can now add a new superfood to our impressive list. It's a grain made to an ancient recipe proven to help with weight loss, even diabetes, as Francesca Belperio explains.
Extremely good for you and good for your health.
Would you call it a superfood?
It is a superfood. I don't need to call it that. It is a superfood.
People don't just want to eat healthily now, and they aren't just interested in other forms of nutrition, but they are interested in supporting their local economy.
It's an ancient super grain that's been reinvented right here in SA.
South Australian initiative and a South Australian grain.
And it's super healthy, helping with weight loss, diabetes and colon health.
Fibre is super important for weight loss, and people really underestimate it, and they go on low-carb diets, but they don't realise that fibre is a type of carbohydrate.
It's called Freekeh, and it originates in the Middle East. It was brought to Australia and modified by mechanical and petroleum engineer Tony Lutfi. He first tasted it in Jordan and developed technology to produce it locally.
With Freekeh, we were the only producer in the world that is producing this unique product to a standard that is suitable for consumption by Western consumers. The traditional product is normally full of stones and rocks and rice. It is a technology that will actually capture the grain at peak taste and nutrition. That's what makes Freekeh very special.
It's completely different to our traditional grain growing.
It begins right here at the farm. Freekeh is made from green wheat that's harvested before it matures.
If you see there's the start of the grain fill, and that's the immature grain, and when that gets to maturity of grain size, then it's harvested. There's your start of Freekeh.
For South Australian farmers like Eldon Oster, growing grain for Freekeh has helped diversify crops on his Maitland property.
Price per hectare is a good incentive above standard cereals, and it does happen earlier than normal harvest, so it doesn't really impede our system too much. It would have to be approximately 30 to 45% premium above normal grains.
It's extremely healthy, superbly healthy, but on top of that, it actually tastes really, really good, and it helps the farmer and the environment in the process.
The grain undergoes a top secret process that keeps the nutrition intact. It's taken Tony 17 years to get to this point, and now it's not just Freekeh that's in demand around the world, but also the technology.
Our technology is currently being sought for technology transfer in Canada, United States and Brazil. So we are not just an exporter of a grain or a value-added grain. We are a producer of technology, we are a producer of know-how, and we are leading the world in research on green grain.
It is healthy, it's got a lot more minerals, it's high in fibre, it's low GI, and those are really great properties from any grain that you could eat, really. That's really what you want to get, something that's going to keep you full, and if it keeps you full, it's going to help you lose a little bit of weight because you're going to eat a little bit less as well.
Adelaide dietitian Themis Chrysidis recommends Freekeh to his overweight and diabetic patients. In fact, in the US, it's been touted a weight loss superfood after appearing on the Dr. Oz show.
The story of a woman called Bonnie Matthews in the United States. Eating Freekeh and exercising, she reduced her weight from 248 pounds, about 140 kilos, to about 140 pounds, half the size.
It is quite textural, it's quite nutty, it's got that roasted flavour because of the way it's actually processed, and it is quite filling and satisfying, and the best part about it is you have to chew it, okay? Not like some other grains where you can kind of eat it a little quicker. You do have to chew it so it slows down our eating, and from that benefit, that's a really, really great benefit.
So we got Themis and former MasterChef contestant Callum Han from Sprout Cooking School to show us how to create 3 delicious Freekeh meals.
So the first dish we've made here is a spring Freekeh minestrone. The Freekeh in this situation really sucks up all the flavour from the soup.
We've got lots of different coloured veggies. They're really nice and bright, really springy, and we've replaced the pasta with Freekeh. So here now we've got our beautiful Freekeh risotto with some asparagus and pumpkin as well, so lots of different colours and textures.
I'm just going to finish that with a little bit of Parmesan cheese as well.
Now we've got our cold Freekeh and beetroot salad. We've used whole grain freekeh here. We've cooled it down, then we're adding some soybeans, some orange and some feta.
Think of the flavour profile of freekeh. It's really earthy, so earthy ingredients like mushrooms or beetroot work really, really well here.
Just be aware that the whole grain takes a bit longer to cook. Similarly, the cracked actually takes quite a while too. So you're looking at about 20 odd minutes for cracked or even 40 odd minutes for whole grain.
What we have done and what we have uncovered is only the tip of an iceberg. The reality is there is so much to learn about freekeh.
I believe it will be the super grain of the future, yeah.
And the best part?
It's all happening here in South Australia.